Can you hold on a second? That's Grand Sheik, you there? That's my sister. Grand Sheik. Unmuted.
Islam, yes, sir. I'm on the manifest, grand man. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Allah is leading on the victory, sure. Islam. Yes, sir. Gratitude. Islamism without the schism. Let us rise upon the seven within the unbroken circle of justice, mercy, love, and right, and give all praises to the great God Allah, Father God Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere, and therefore honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. And let us come forth for the ancient committee and Adept Moorish American prayer. And as we come forth, we ask that you open up your hearts and minds as we open up the way. Islam, Islam, Islamism. Ya Allah ebnu heru makunetaru. And I'm getting ready to go back into the prayer. But praise be to Allah. Allah knows best. But I want to welcome our Moorish kin to another Moorish Perspectives. And I'm your host instructor, Dr. Shahid Imani Amohadi Shabazel. My ancient committee and high name being the same as Dr. Sheddawar Minty Mohajer Shepsuel. And we have a grand drawing to bring on the manifest to you, Moorish kin. As always, I'm actually in the process of trying to send this link out to our Moorish kin too. Matter of fact, I just put it in there for those who would like to join the panel. But we have a grand drawing to bring to our Moorish kin in our Moorish perspective, so to speak. And our actual subject title is coming from Chapter 31, Yehoshua passes the fifth Adept degree, Heroism. And our ayat, is 18. Very powerful ayat if we pay attention to it. And Yehoshua saw a ladder made of gold on which he climbed. And at the top, the white robed priest awaited him. And so when we understand these high lessons and we look at certain tools and things that are used to aid and assist one in building the temple of perfected man, the latter is one, to be used to allow one to go into elevated heights, so to speak. In our case, divinity. This is a ladder made of gold. Now, for those who may be familiar with gold, gold is a precious metal, at least to man. Gold, is a grand degree of material because it is often utilized, so to speak, to conduct on a high level of spirituality, but also just knowing how to turn base metal into gold. That's a whole nother drawing in and of itself. You see? And so this ladder climbing from the bottom to the top, would be somewhat also symbolic of coming from a lower level into a higher level. But Yehoshua saw a ladder that was made of gold on which he climbed, and at the top it was said that he seen a white robed priest that awaited him. Now many of us would think that this would be some other priest that Yehoshua had run into or brushed shoulders with, so to speak. But what we find is that all of these adept degrees have to do with going within, the inner man, the inner being, and so forth and so on. And if this is the case, then Yehoshua at the bottom of the rung is a whole different degree when Yehoshua gets to the top of the rung. If you can follow me with this. So this white robe priest actually represented the superego, or as we would call it, the higher self. So he climbed to the top, and it was his higher self that awaited him. When he stood before the bar, the council bar, and the hierophant reached forth his hand to bless, this white robe priest in all actuality represented Yehoshua's higher self, the hierophant again within him. It was he who placed in Yehoshua's hand the scroll upon which was written Heroism. So the Logos had encountered fear in all his phantom hosts, we are told, in conflict, and he achieved victory. This is how he won, through. This is how victory, was the outcome, so to speak. Yehoshua, in his transmutation into being the Christ that he was, so to speak, or the God man that he was, because all of these are titles. It's not something where you get churchy, as they taught you in Christianity and so forth and so on. Christ represents a degree, just as Mahdi represented a degree in the Islamic world. Ahmed, the comforter, the spirit of truth. These are different levels or degrees of one transcending the lower self and going into the higher self. This is why you can see Abraham becoming known as Abraham after first being known as Abram. Jacob being known as Jacob before he became known as Israel. We can go into many other cases, what names signified a change, and this brought about a whole different being, if you will. So it's the same, again, when we deal with this, just like when we receive our high name, or we receive our mystic name and number, and so forth and so on. A good name is better than gold, they say, right? That Yehoshua had a ladder made of gold. How many rungs are upon this ladder? A 12-step ladder, right? On which he climbed. And we already know white mean purity, purity mean God, and God mean the ruler of the land. So, again, it was his higher self that awaited him. Our higher self awaits us. We didn't come here overnight. It was our higher self that awaited us. And then we became that. We unfolded into that. So we climbed rung by rung. And in the esoteric realm, a ladder is synonymous with steps. A ladder is synonymous with anything, and it can be 3 steps. It can be 7 steps, or whatever the case may be. But it all has to do with elevation. So the question is have you saw your ladder made of gold upon which you are able to climb and meet with your higher self? And if so, and our chairman gave a grand drawing or rendition of this, and we have it on our page. when you deal with the 12-step ladder in our government website. And at the top of that ladder, the last step, there's a door. And upon that door, you will have, really where one actually meet their God. And this is not strange because if you know anything about Jacob, when he was said to become Israel, it was said that there were angels ascending and descending upon the ladder of Jacob. And in this process, it was said that the Most High was at the top of the rung. So what is higher than that which you have above your neck? That's the higher self. What's more elevated and evolved above God consciousness? It don't get no more elevated than that or higher than that. You see? And this is where we come from mere heroism into the unfoldment of heroism. My Moorish American Muslims that are dealing with the Kemetic principles know well what we are referring to. And this is the 5th Adept degree, one that will make you 5 times more powerful. You see? So we can't make this stuff up, Morris King. It don't get no plainer than the truth. It's so much wisdom that is wrapped up, in everything it is that we have been given. If we would only go into the essence of it. If we would only go into the essence of it, Morris King. Yeah, many of our people have failed countless times because they have been looking for gods outside of the self. They have been looking for spooks and spookism as opposed to Islam and Islamism without the schism. And this is why people continue to fall by climbing. You see? And it all has to do with basically our lack, of drive, so to speak, to really want to be other than this body. When you start talking like that, oh yeah, they think you crazy. How you gonna be other than this body? My question again is, have you found your higher self? Have you found that which elevates you, or exalts you beyond the plane of things made manifest? What's awaiting you? We already know what's on the manifest, but what's awaiting you when you go, to the highest step or the highest rung? A ladder made of gold? Come on now. How many of you have ever seen a ladder made of? I've seen plenty of aluminum ladders, but I ain't seen a gold one yet. So this lets you know that Yehoshua himself, was already pretty much his divinity was there. His riches is found within the very tool that he utilizes to elevate himself. What is a ladder made of gold to you? What do your rungs upon the ladder consist of? Is it stable enough to hold you up? Have you been able to climb into high places that you couldn't be able to climb, had you not had this particular ladder? I mean, these are just questions I'm asking, So what are you doing with your ladder? Is it useful to you? Man, I'm going to slow the ethers down a bit. In all actuality, again, we're talking about being able to climb into the heights of our divinity. This is what life is spent to build, a temple of perfected man. How do you climb within your heights of divinity? Ask yourself that question. You need something to be able to do it, right? Wow. I give praises to the great God Allah for sending us a holy prophet, a mastermind, a divine warner. What would we be without Prophet Noble Drew Ali? It ain't nobody out here right now on the planet teaching these lessons unless they stealing them from us, repackaging them, so forth and so on. Who else? Can you show me anybody, Moors, on the front line doing the same work that we doing? I hold. I'm waiting. So what is the key? The purpose. Man, have you seen your higher self? You met your higher self? And if you have, then that's a grand thing. That's a good thing. Because many of our people, they pass form after being on the plane of things made manifest and waste a whole lot of time. Not ever being able to come into their higher self. So I tell you, man, it's something else. It's something else. So Allah is definitely leading on and victory is sure. When it comes down to dealing with the higher self. What are some of the names of the higher self? We're going to go into a little trivia. God, Mastermind, Adept, Guru, Baba, Sifu. I mean, we can go on and on. And also these represent stations. Yehoshua represents a higher self. Muhammad represents a higher self. Ibrahim, as we said earlier, all the prophets represent the higher self. So we know the lower self has to be the complete opposite. So having all of that knowledge, then if all of these are the possibilities of man, then we too can be the higher self. These are stations to be obtained. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. These are stations to be obtained by men, to grow into the heights of who they are destined to become. Stations. We already know how low you can go now. But how high can we fly? How high can we ascend? Key is we have to have a high mind to be able to rule a nation. You can't rule a nation from a low state of vibration and expect that nation to thrive in brilliance. You have to build a nation based upon a thought pattern that is indicative, of love that come from above. We say wisdom speaking from out of the highest plane of spirit life. Our leadership and executive rulers must exemplify this. That's the whole key. If you ask, well, what is the purpose of learning these lessons? What are we talking about, Brother Shaheed? Yeah, don't get no plainer than the truth, people. It don't get no plainer than the truth. Allah is definitely leading on and victory is sure. So we got a little work to do. In order for us to truly build a nation, everybody have to be able to be at a high level of vibration. And we just got to meet with the highest self, meet with who we truly are. And that's all we need to be able to move forward and really get, this apparatus off of the ground, so to speak. It's all dealing with the thought pattern. Whatever we are able to will, we can achieve, and all becomes manifest. Is your ladder made of gold? That's what I want to know. Is your ladder made of gold? So, this is just a thought that I wanted to put out there and give to my family. Nothing major. We more can talk till we get white around the mile. But I've been doing this thing where I open up the floor early, and I'm gonna do the same thing tonight. Because there's no need to, prolong the droid when I made the point. So our subject title again is the fifth adept degree of heroism, and this ayat is ayat 18 that we're dealing with. And think about some of the things that I discussed about this higher self, this high priest, that in us which makes us the rulers that we are. So at this time, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor up. Praise be to Allah, Islamism without the schism.
Islam.
So star 6 your phone. Islam, more.
Islam.
Islam, I hear you more.
Well, you got the brother, or
I just gave you the floor, Grand.
Islam.
Islam. It's two of y'all, or is that one person?
Both of us.
Okay, yeah. Whichever one, it's on y'all. The floor is open. Whoever wanna let who come forth.
What you say, brother? Okay. Islam. Dr. Larry Gagnon, go ahead, brother. looking at this law, the flow, the board, all of the got the Larry Jackson tape.
Okay, I don't know. That's what I thought. I heard one person too, but I think he thought he heard somebody else.
Okay, Dr. Larry Jackson's back. I'm here. I hear my phone echoing again. First I rise to give praise and glory to Allah, the most merciful. And I give high honor to his holy and divine prophet, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, the last prophet in these days of time. And I give honor to Act 1 of our divine prophet. And I honor you, brother. Great class, great study. And I honor all those that open up the way for us, Lord. Long as the great class. And I honor all my love and share our lives. Peace and blessings. Peace and love. So, brother, that was beautiful the way you described the higher self, you know, and relate it with that priest that'll be there when you get there. You see, and it's amazing. You know, it's amazing because I growed a little bit during this lesson, and I understand that. Because every time we are, like you pointed out, all thinking is done above the neck. And when we start using our intelligence over our emotions and make sure that we make the decision, which promotes love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I say it like that. We're meeting our highest self head on. We're meeting that priest. It's always there, but it's only there when we carry our principles with us and make those decisions in that way. Because for the rest of our lives, so in this physical existence, we're gonna be challenged. Because like the prophet said, Lord, he didn't say you didn't have but one set. He said you got two sets, a higher and a lower. You must master one. You know what I'm saying? And elevate the others. In other words, our higher self must be elevated at every fork in the road. Every time we come to that fork in the road, that priest is right there waiting on the right side of on the right. In other words, waiting on you to make the right choice. And when we make that choice, you see, it's a beautiful thing. To know who you are and to know that it matters. The choices that we make in this life right here, it elevates the more. Like you said, that super ego, taking you there. And when you reach there, you find yourself. It was you all the time. It's just that we was letting something else other than who we really are control us. Like we already done studied. We done studied everything in this government. Our prophet gave us everything. As far as being greed, holding on to greed, making sure that we always stand on our principles. It's just so much, to come to mind that the prophet has given us to make sure that we understand that the only growth we have is upward, and that upward bound, and it's always grabbing at the bench, and then when we reach that, we're looking for more, because it just keep coming. It's just, let me see. So when we, as a Morse American, make that choice because, of what we have learned, and I feel that we're here with a purpose. Each of us, we made it to this. I've heard that the road to destruction is wide, but the road to salvation is very narrow. And we here, we right here, and we become that priest. We meet that priest every time within ourselves. Every time we make the right decision, I understand that, and I can use that. I could live like that. I want to live like that, I want to get everything that the prophet has brought me because I seen God walking in him. You see, that's when I think about the prophet and his work, I think about creating in a perfect body and with a perfect mind and have made up his decision to do what's right. You see, and I can dwell that because that's a clean house. I heard that. Peace and blessing. Great time, brother. Great time.
Yeah. And peace and blessings. Grand measure, brother. Gratitude. All right. Next more.
Islam?
This long, brother Emmy Bay.
Yeah, yeah. Is it better if I come through the
Oh, I can hear you good right now. If that's all right with you.
yeah, that's good. Just
Yeah.
that I can hear myself. So, because I'm on the uh,
I hear a slight echo, probably because you got the line open you need to mute out. But other than that, you real clear.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out the best way to come forth without distracting. Okay, let me try. Well, let me mute on the.
And pull this up. Pull this up. This is gonna be crazy. If I hang up the phone, okay, I know what I can do. Let me try muting. Okay, yeah, that's better. It's I still got a feedback on this here. Okay,
I think I need to get off the panel. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you still got a little echo.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hang up on the conference call, and then I just the come through the console. Okay, I just hang up here. Is Islam? Can you hear me now? Still?
Yeah, that's better.
Can you hear me now? Still?
I can hear you. Yeah, but you don't start.
Yeah. This I'm gonna have to figure this out
Hold up. Let me
later.
see.
Once I figure it out.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
Let's see. I'm gonna mute out.
That might be the best move. Okay. Okay, Lord.
Yeah, go ahead, brother Emmy Bay.
Okay, gratitude. Yeah, this is Dr. Marvin Evans Bay. Praise and honor self and giving. Um, I just want to say, yeah, this is a very beautiful class, and in this chapter, I mean, when we first went over the chapter, it was powerful. But today, when we go over the lesson, it's a paradigm shift. We know that this was Yehoshua, the prophet, in their own say mind, yeah. And so, because we use that mind, with that soul, in order that we elevate and grow. And we talk about that higher self, talking about that white robe priest that's waiting. Yeah, he's waiting for me to conquer the self, to solve the fix. You said some powerful things. I was taking some notes. You talked about that gold, which is precious metal. It's that 12-step ladder, that we use to climb, to elevate to our higher self. And when we can picture that it's within us, it's within our mind, that's where our power lies. We talk about Morris American Where does our power lie? We were talking about the other day. You know, in our national, I think it was in our national assistant grand chief class. No, assistant grandma chief class. Yeah. And so I can see that. You know what I mean? As we take these lessons and make them applicable to the self, you know what I mean? As we purify our hearts and minds, as we study, as we walk with love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, this is all part of that ladder. You know what I mean? The wrongs on that ladder. You know what I mean? Using those tools, you know, to circle that compass, to encircle our passions. You know what I mean? Draw a line around our passions so we can only go so far. You know what I mean? That because everything about us is in our design, and it is designed to aid and assist us when we are in our right minds. Because as I saw myself as a Negro, colored folks, a black African American, when I saw myself as that, I had no clue about a higher self. All I could deal with, all I could fathom, all I could perceive was a physical entity. Because, and I know that because when I talk to people, you know, family, and they have no clue about North American government, and I try to share different things to them. And I know it's simple. You know, when they talk about they supposed to be Christians, they don't even know anything about say Yehoshua, or also known as Jesus, you know what I mean, going through any test, you know what I mean, about his title as the Christ. I can deal with that, but he's, you know, they kind of call him Jesus Christ, but that's Jesus the Christ. It's a title, like you were speaking on, you know. I mean, this is so beautiful. I mean, I'm not saying I'm all of that, but I'm striving. So I think that I'm just as able as any more on this call to ascend to a higher level than to look at the physical as the all in all. And just like I was speaking to more earlier about, okay, I stopped paying taxes in 2018, but I still owe those taxes, you know, and they got interest. But I can't look at that as the end of me, you know. I'm still a God. So I have to, when I go within, God gonna show me the way. You know what I mean? If I just have to, you know, pay it off, you know, little by little, so be it. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting with some more than less, you know, file that petition on however I'm have to confer with the like one about cause I know we can do this. You know what I mean? Because like we are taught, the first crime was committed against me, against us. You know, I mean, I know we're supposed to, you know, go by the laws of the land right now. You know, I'm not having anything against that, of course. But it's more to this life than just physical. This is our spirit self. You know, talk about the will. Yeah, in this chapter talks about that will. You know, and that's what it takes. We have to use that will that the great God gave us. He said, will and faith are stronger than the stoutest chains that men have ever made. You know, so we have to believe that. We have to know that. We have to have the faith in that. Because when we let the outside, you know, appear to be more than what it is, then we lost. Then we won't ascend that ladder. But as we read about Yehoshua going through these tests, he stays at his highest self. You know, and when he came here in this fifth chapter, he had found himself already. I mean, but check this out. He found himself, you know, and after he had conquered self, he talked with nature in these groves for 40 days. So this is what we do. You know what I mean? When we come into any type of confrontation, which is not really a confrontation, it's a test. You know, this is a challenge. But we are the guys. You know what I mean? So and that's why I say I'm holding on to this gospel, God. You know what I mean? Can't nobody change that for me. And I can say that. You know what I mean? Now, later on, if I'm outside of the government, you say, oh, he know what he's talking about. But I don't think so. Because I've already been through all of that other stuff. I've been through so much stuff before. When I got here, you know what I mean? It's like falling on one's knees and thanking the great God, you know what I mean, for blessing me to be here in this North American government. No, can't nobody, you know what I mean, shake, shake me in any kind of way. You know, but yeah, I mean, this is so much, I mean, just from the notes, you know what I mean? Talk about the runs, talk about climbing. And as we climb, as, you know, he just say he saw a ladder. And that was after he had, you know, went through that little test, you know? As he went through that little test, then he saw that ladder. You know what I mean? And then he could climb that ladder. And then as he kept climbing, his higher self was there. Like in each and every one of us, that Hierophant, that white robe Hierophant is within us, and he's waiting up there for us to pass these tests. And we too, like Yehoshua, like our prophet, will get that scroll. The first one being sincerity, you know, to philanthropy, faith, you know what I mean, all the way to love divine. I mean, more this something to be for them. Yeah, you know, like I say, and I can continue and continue, but I know the Moors are lining up, biting at the bit. You know what I mean, to speak on this one. And I just say gratitude, God, man, for allowing me to speak. Islam and peace.
Islam and peace, grand man. We give honors to you for your drawing. Praise be to Allah. Islam isn't without the schism. All right, the floor is still open.
Islam,
Islam, brother Justice.
Islam, praise Allah, praise Allah. Honor to our holy prophet over the Raleigh. Honor to you, Dr. Saeed, to our national super grand chief for the great class tonight. And honor to all of those who assist you on the class. And honor to the entire Act One. As always, special honor to our national grand chief and our national event chairman, more to verify and power the most on the first laws of the system of the prophet and the grand father of more to verify. Honor to you, national assistant grand chief, our host tonight, but assistant grand chief, even to assistant grand chief and all the fans who do support us with love, peace, and justice. You got an echo.
I heard somebody say you got to speak echo, brother Justice. You may have to turn your volume down a little bit.
I hear echo, but
Go ahead.
call back in.
God managed to the echo on my line too.
No, Islam, Sister Cammy. Justice got it.
You want me to hang up and call back in, sir?
I can hear you clearly, grand man.
All right, praise Allah. Praise Allah. Again, honor to our national grand chief and our national grand chief of most Marathon power, the most law and truth law with the system of profit and the green body of most America. With honor to our host tonight, our national assistant grand chief, because the assistant grand chief is the assistant grand chief out there. I tell you, go somewhere next. I'm out to hang up and call back in.
Islam, brother. I hear you clearly, brother Justice.
Yes, sir. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. And let me do this again. Praise Allah. Honor to our national grand, speaking our national grand chairman, Morris America, and our make our system of the prophet, the grand father, Morris America. And honor to our host tonight, our national assistant
known before the citizen of Morris America. Well, you know, the prophet did say, I brought you everything to save the nation, you take it to save thyself. And he said, if I can do Sir, let me just hang up if you would, sir, right? It's kind of,
Okay, Islam, bro.
let me hang up so I can speak to this.
Yes, sir. Come on back round. Islam. Next more.
Yes, sir. I'm good. Praise Allah.
Islam, is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire?
Islam, God, man.
Islam, you got the floor, Sister
There's
Karen.
that echo. This is Sister Tammy in Michigan. That hires, arise, honor, and give praise to the prophet. Arise, honor, and praise Allah. With that higher and lower self, I've had to study myself and figure out what triggers it. Things that are beyond my control, such as these technical difficulties. Interrupting the meeting.
We're still getting a bad echo on the conference call side.
Yeah, I'm going to see what I can do over here on my side, Grand Secretary of State.
Gratitude.
All right. Let's see.
God, man, do you still hear the echo?
Okay, go ahead, Sister Cammy.
True God, man. No, that echo's still there. How do you want us to proceed?
I think he muted Dr. Tammy, and you can talk. So,
All right, I'll give my measure until the line comes back.
Well, we can hear you
If
clearly
no one
now.
objects.
We can hear you clearly now. Gratitude.
Gratitude. I already gave honors and praises. I already did the right honor and praise the great God Allah. This is Sister Cammy in Michigan. What I was saying was that with this higher self, lower self demonstration, now that the prophet has taught me that I had one, I had to figure out in the study itself what was triggering my lower self thinking. And one of the things tonight was a perfect example of it. This is my phone. It's in my name. I'm paying the bill. No one should be controlling that but me. And it takes me to my lower self when things that should be within my control are not. The triggering of the lower self will trigger other things, like that tobacco and getting frustrated, self-control and discipline. There's a part of me that feel like calling the phone company tomorrow because I have nothing better to do. Let me calm down and gratitude for allowing me to floor. The technical difficulties get the better of me sometimes. Can the assistant grant sheet get through? That's an official of this here government. Let me stand down before wrong ends up at the front door, because I done said something that hurt their feelings.
It's on Grand Sheet. That's on Sister Grand Sheet.
Islam, I'm here,
Did
Grand Man.
anyone just hear my message, or am I talking to myself? Gratitude. I'm having technical difficulties on my main line.
Okay, Islam, Sister Cammy. If you got technical difficulty, we'll let some more Moors come through while you fix that. Islam, is there any other Moors who would like to come forth and demonstrate their measure?
Islam, sir.
Gratitude.
Islam, praise Allah. Stop just at George territory. Praise Allah. Honor to our holy prophet, no draw thee. Honor to you, Dr. Saeed, sir, our national assistant, Grand Sheikh, sir, who's the host of our class tonight. And honor to all of those who assist you on the class, and honor to the entire Act One. It's always special honor to our national Grand Chairman, our national Praise Allah. Honor to our national Grand Sheikh and our national Grand Chairman, Morris America, are empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Vital of Morris America. And honor to our host tonight, our national assistant Grand Sheikh, or the assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs of deals according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the citizen of Morris America. Well, you know, the prophet did say, I brought you everything it takes to save a nation. I've taken to save thyself. And he said, if I can get you to thinking, you'll save yourself. You know, sir, looking at the I-18, praise Allah, and Yehoshua saw the ladder made of gold, on which he climbed. And at the top of the white robed priest awaited him. You know, sir, when I look at this, you know, Yehoshua, he didn't just because we know that he was going through different degrees to get to this gold ladder. Although this is coming from above the neck, and these are the things that we have to do because Yehoshua is doing the work, and this is what we are doing the work, and this is what you have to be doing to do the work in order to get to that gold ladder. See, I look at it this way. I have one, but I'm still working on it because I want to make sure it still have strength to it. I don't just want it there and just run up there and because I know better. Because you know that's not the kind of ladder I want. I want mine to stay gold. I don't want something to be sometime because when you talked about when you was talking about the 12-step ladder, and you sent some demonstration to Gold, Master, and Adept, and Guru, I believe, and Barbara, and Seafood. Well, the thing what I was thinking about is when you had mentioned about the key. You know, when you actually would have a gold ladder, we all got one. And you asked about one of the keys to it is who made you. And this ladder you have to climb with faith have to have to climb this ladder. And see, you also talked about the limit of flying high. Still talking about that 12-step ladder. There is no limit to how high a God can fly when it comes to the thought pattern of being able to think. The prophet did let us know, he said, if I could just get you to think, there's no limit on that how high that you can fly when it comes to being able to think and solve problems. There's no limit. And when you talked about the little work, I could only think a few other things about when it comes to the little work. Yeah, you can use that word, but we know that we have work to do. But you can use that word when you're being faithful and you're getting the work done. And the work is not hard and difficult when you are studying and you're keeping the Holy Prophet over draw lead out front. And knowing that Allah, the great God of the universe, made him and sent him for our earthly salvation. That's what Yehoshua was doing. He knew Allah made it, and he knew Allah was the one that sent him for the people of earthly salvation. You see, Yehoshua didn't just all of a sudden pop up and run up a gold ladder. This takes work. To get to every degree, you have to go through stuff. You have to, this was another thing. Because see, many have that gold ladder. Don't get me wrong, many have that gold ladder. And what they have done, why they lost that gold ladder, because you talk about the lower self as well. See, you got to remember that, if you're not careful, the lower self will catch you. And they have caught many climbing that ladder. Because they had no mind, they had something else in mind other than the higher self. They were looking for money, some material things outside of themselves. Don't recall who made them sounding good. But then there's nothing to unfold because you're operating, you're trying to run up climb a gold ladder, not thinking not with the higher self, but with your lower self, thinking that you can sneak and do something. But see, Yehoshua wasn't doing this. Yehoshua was doing faithful work. And you talk about that super eagle. And see, there's also that super eagle. There's no limit to how high that eagle can fly. You still talking about that high self. And see, the eagle can fly so high, even with the corner eyes, when you look up in the sky, big as that bird is, it can get out of your eyesight. But if you are looking with your spiritual eye, you can forever see how high he may go. Beyond the skies and on and on. This is still talking about the high self. And then see, things are still unfolding. Things are still unfolding. That's that super ego, still talking about that high self. And see, you answer, Heavenly Father, your high self, that letter, because I didn't get all of the questions, please for me. But I do have enough to understand and know to tell you yes. And I'm still working on it because you gotta continue to do the work. It's been said by you, the champion, the sheep, many times. You got to continue to do the work. You just can't get the ladder and then all of a sudden think that's the force you need to go because the goal, the ladder itself began to disappear. It will no longer be there anymore because you're falling with your lower self. And this is what happened to so many more. They had the gold ladder. You know this just as well as I do. They had all the knowledge and understanding, but they went as far as they go. They lost their gold ladder. They no longer have it. So you got to come back home and get these laws and lessons and work your way back up to get that gold ladder. Through a little bronze or a little silver to the gold ladder. And I'm not just saying something to be fun. I'm saying something because this is real. This is real. You have to work. You got to do the work to get this gold ladder. That's what Yehoshua was doing the work. And I'll be quick about it. When he said that, when the Yehoshua said, Yehoshua saw the ladder made of gold on which he climbed. There was no hesitation. There's no hesitation. There's no hesitation to do the work here. There's no ifs, ands, buts to make. But when you call on to do the work, and Yehoshua, that thought level, that high self, he went on to climb the ladder. There was no hesitation. That's just like in the Morris government. We ain't got no business having hesitate doing anything. Just do the work, because if you get the laws and lessons and you know them and you know who made you, which is one of the top keys, Allah, the great God of the universe, then you're gonna just go on and climb the ladder. And then see when he met, when he got to the top, the white robe priest awaited him. This is that high self there. That's where you into the meditation. That's where you can sit with the prophet. This is where you can get in a quiet place. And now you can talk to the great God of you. You can talk to your prophet. You can talk to the angels. You can always check yourself. And when you check yourself, then everything is okay. Everything is all right. You're going to have some ups and downs. I'm getting ready to go. So you find some ups and downs or whatever. But just remember who made you. Just remember who made you so you can keep that gold letter. Just remember who made you so you can keep that gold letter and you can stay at home here in the Morrisburg government. Because there's nothing in the world that can stop you but yourself, because you're responsible self. It's your job to continue to work on self and continue to fix self and continue to work on keeping that goal out. Because remember, you said to the how can it fly? To the highest height, this is going to keep going. There's no limit. There's no limit for the super eagle. There's no limit for even for the gold level. There's no limit to anything. We are God, sir. Islam and peace. Honor to you for the class.
And gratitude for the measure, brother. Peace and love. All right. Next more. Islam, Sister Curta Bay.
Islam, that's engineered cultivate gratitude. First, let me rise and give praises to our great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali. I give honors to Act One. I give honors to all my government officials, and I give honors to you, National Sister Grand Chief, for this powerful, wonderful class tonight. And you're coming from our Chapter 31. Yehoshua passes the 5th Adept degree, Heroism, and you was coming from Ayah 18. And Yehoshua saw a ladder made of gold, on which he climbed, and at the top, the white robed priest awaited him. And this is a powerful ayah here. And when I was thinking about what stood out to me, and gratitude, God, man, for when you was naming the different names for the highest self, God, Adept, the different names, I can't think of it right off, when you was naming them, that we call that higher self. And we know that our prophet has told us to study cells, and we know that we have 2 cells because we learned it in our 101s and 102. And but we know that we got to focus on that higher self, so the higher self can be in lead, be in charge, take control. And this is what we see Yehoshua doing in his test. He's showing us how different situations may come up, but he's also showing us what I love about it. He's showing us that he went through these things. Like I always say, when I was in the Piscine area, we had the idea that Yehoshua was so holy that he didn't, he couldn't even have a negative thought or anything. But when I got into this government, I found out better, and that makes me, that gave me like a more better understanding, because it made, I can't explain how it made me feel, but it just made me feel, oh wow, if he was tempted like this, because see, my mindset was that he didn't have no negative thoughts, none of this. So I'm looking at myself like, well, how in the world is we gonna be able to get through these different temptations and things if he didn't even have to go through it, if he hadn't really been through it. But like I say, you know how we was given the wrong information. But knowing that Yehoshua went through all these things, not only that, knowing that our prophet, he went through all of these things and he passed every test. He's letting told us to imitate him, our prophet. And so when you imitate our prophet, well, we know whatever comes, we know that we are able to overcome whatever situation that we're into. And so when I was looking at that, it said Yehoshua saw a ladder made of gold. When I look about that gold, to me, gold represents divine strength. So what the prophet is letting us know, you not only have strength, you got divine strength to help you to overcome these things. You got the divine strength within you. You got the great God Allah in you. You got the great God Allah to purify your heart and your mind, to cause you to walk in purity, to cause you to be enlightened each and every day. Yeah, each and every one of us, we are growing and unfolding every day. And all of us, I know for myself, I'm not where I used to be, but I know that there's so much more for me to learn, for me to accomplish. There's so much more. And you don't look at it as something dreadful or anything. You be excited because you know that the great God Allah is not going to let you go through anything that you can't win. Because if you couldn't win, that makes his word of non-effect. And we know his word is not going to be of none effect. We know his word is true because he said he was leading on and victory is assured. And so no matter what we do, our thing is, God, man, you say, how do we do this? Like Yehoshua did, it talks about how he loved to walk and meditate. So we got to get by ourselves and take time out and go within ourselves. We got to study the prophet's teachings. We got to go within and meditate and get in a quiet place. Sometimes we get too busy and we can't hear what the great God Allah is saying. So my thing is we got to take time out just for studying our holy prophet's teachings, going within ourselves and studying that lower self and that higher self, so that higher self can always be in control, because our prophet showed us how to do that. And that's what we're aiming for right now. We are striving for that. We are striving for perfected man. And so, gratitude, God, man. I'm going to stop right there because I know we got other more here who want to get in here and give their measure. But this is a grand class. Gratitude, God, man, for letting me share. Peace and love.
And gratitude for sharing. Peace and love, goddess and queen. Gratitude for that more sense. Islam. Well, all right. Islamism. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Islam?
God, man.
Islam, Sister
If
Cammy.
you like, I'll go twice.
No, we trying to get some other Moors to let them come in here more. And we'll come back round to you. Islam, is there any other more who would like to come forth that haven't spoken yet, that would like to come to the floor? Islam. Well, all right. Have at it, Sister Cammy. All right.
Yes, sir, God, man.
There you go. Islam.
Gratitude. This is Sister Cammy with that echo. The higher self and lower self. That higher self in the last measure, I was in my own lower self. So I apologize that I am not at home amongst my family. That higher self, your God state. I've had a higher self all my life and a lower self all my life. And my thought when I've gone through this previously was I born with a higher and lower self. And since I've been in this human form, I've had a higher and lower self. A lot of us can remember things that have happened on this journey in this human form because we have beliefs as far as the soul plane. Christian folks call it heaven. Heaven and hell is a state of mind, not someplace underground or up in the clouds. We don't focus on illusions here. That's your higher self and your lower self. Sometimes they will wrestle amongst each other. Your goal is to make sure that higher self always wins. Allah's lead, knowing and victory is sure. I'm not looking at the clock right now, but I know I've consumed at least 7 minutes tonight. And I say thank you and gratitude in Moorish language.
Gratitude. Islam for the message. Well, all right. Is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Islam.
Islam, this is Dr. Baki David Iowa Territory. It's like to rise and give all manner of praise to Allah, promise to the Prophet, promise to our theocratic government, our royal council, our flag, seal, emblem, our divine constitution, our swift angels, our Mufti, your citizens alike, honest to all the Moors that spoke before me, all the ones that will speak after. Honest to you for this class and question. On the floor is Yehoshua saw the ladder made of gold on which he climbed, and at the top, the white robed priest awaited him. And this is kind of what I was getting to in a previous class. Every time that you go through something and you conquer it at its greatest heights, that relief and feeling, when you get over it, when you get through it, that's when you meet the right road priest, especially when it comes down to situations where you know previously you would have acted adversely, or you would have acted in what they call the psychology, the fight or flight response. And this also goes back to the 16, the 6 in, 6 out, 6 hold breaths, which is the 18 breath, which is the beast, where you're just breathing, you're not even controlling your breath. And but a lot of times when the phone died, so Sister Grand Chief, do I have to hang up and come back in, Mom?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, we had a little technical difficulty going there. All right. Right, here we go. Hold up. Oh, it's bleeding. I see what's going on here. That's a YouTube page. That's why that echo coming through there. Okay, can you hear me, Morris King?
We can hear you more loud and clear.
All right. I just had a YouTube page open up over there, and that's why I was getting this bleed through. So hold on, Morris King. I'm trying to close out all these pages over here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, do it sound clear now, Morris King?
It sounds clear.
All right.
But it looks like we're still getting an echo on the conference call sign.
Yeah, hold up. One more page, I'm gonna close out. What in the world is going on? Yeah, I just had it. I can hear your sheep. I just closed all these pages out. Okay, I'm gonna close that Google Voice. Okay, how that sound now, Grand Secretary of State?
That sounds clear more.
Okay, Islam.
There's still an echo. When I speak to you, it's still a feedback.
I don't know. Maybe it's this apparatus, and it's just the only thing I can use right now. I'm gonna try to go online, but I can't. If I do that, I ain't gonna be able to give y'all the info. I ain't gonna be able to let the Moors hear. Okay, what about when I do this? Can speak, Grand Secretary of the State? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, speak, Grand Secretary of the State. I'm gonna mute out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I had a video that come on, but I thought that would close it out. But hold on real quick. Speak real quick.
So that's just for the grand sheet. I'm asking for a reason because it may be my line.
Okay, Grand Secretary of the State. When I mute it out, can you hear the echo still?
I don't hear an echo on my end, so it's good.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do this right here then. But I did have like a couple of pages open, and
Yes, sir.
okay, Islam.
Dr. Bate, if you would more, you continue on with the lesson you were bringing forth. Gratitude.
Can you hear us, brother Bati Bey? Man, these contraptions messing up. Can
I
any?
think Dr. Bate on the board. Can you start with your phone though?
Yeah, the sheik say his phone messing up too. Everybody apparatus going crazy. Brother Bati Bacon, you hear us? Yeah, we can hear you, Sheep, but something going on over here. Over here on our end. We can hear you. Can you hear us clearly?
I hear something.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to see our brother Bati Bay was speaking, but I don't know. Maybe I guess the brother will come back round. Maybe he having some apparatus problems over there. Is there any other more that would like to come forth and exercise their fire? What is that? Is that somebody line? Yes, that's somebody line open up over there, Grand Secretary of State, that you can see on the board. Sound like it got, like you say, some music in the background. Cause that's what it. Okay. And now how's the sound? Is it echoing still?
Sound is good right now.
Yes.
I got an echo on my voice.
Okay, I'm gonna close out. I gotta mute out on my end. And then whoever can speak. So is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire? Yeah, that brother Yehuda Bay. Islam, grand man. Apologize for the technical difficulties over here. Rome ain't built. Nonetheless, I'm gonna mute out.
Gratitude, God, man. Islam family, I am Dr. Cool, real conflict. First, let me rise and give all praise to mighty God Allah. Give high honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Honors to our Moorish American government. Honors to our flag, still and emblem. Honors to Act One. Honors to all our officials. Honors to all Moorish Americans here, there, and everywhere. Honors to you, Dr. Shaheed, our National Grand Assistant Grand Chief, for this beautiful class, Moorish Perspectives today. Islam, praise Allah, these apparatuses, oh my goodness. Me and Zaket were listening on the laptop and, all is well. And then we had to get on the mission and, just everything is messing up. I don't know what's going on, God, man, but Islam, when it gets in our hands, we'll take care of it. Islam family, let me see, I got it. Okay, Ayat 18, and Yehoshua saw a ladder made of gold on which he climbed, and at the top, the white robed priest awaited him. Islam, and I give back gratitude to all those who spoke before me, and gratitude to all those who speak after me. And Islam, God, man, I had written down some of the questions that you had posed, and it's a grand measure. And when I think about climbing that 12-step ladder and how Have I been able to climb to places that I wouldn't have reached without my ladder? And that was a grand question, because, praise Allah, that without that 12-step ladder, that golden ladder of, just coming through religion and science, benevolence, diligence, sincerity, justice, prudence, temperance, charity, gratitude, modesty, and obedience. Had I not been able to reach that top realm, that top step of obedience, I would probably still be in a dismal state of consciousness, and not being able to understand, who made me, and understand that I'm a God, and my God, and she's a goddess, and being able to have principles and be able to understand those principles and what they mean by being a Moorish American, what they mean to be one with the great God Allah, being one with Him. When I reached that highest step, knowing that there's no higher place to be than being one with great God Allah, Islam, and it's just a beautiful understanding. Once I came into that consciousness of that oneness with Him, that all my thoughts, all my choices, all my decisions were based upon those principles and based upon that knowledge that I have reached that part of obedience. I have reached that step of obedience and being obeying those instructions of just doing the right thing. Islam, just ignoring those whispers of the lower self, ignoring those things that try to take me out of my high, take me away from my higher self. Try to put weight on me, and so I slip back down that ladder and fall back all the way back down to religion, where we get those gods that Europeans have given us, tried to give us. I don't want to go back there, back to that. I'm not trying to show no shade or anything, as the young folks say, but I don't want to go back to Bishop Jakes and all them ones that were preaching how to remain in bondage. I don't want to go back there. So once I've reached this highest unconscious place of consciousness, there's no going back. They can try to kick that ladder from up under me, but I'm still gonna be up there. I'm not falling back down. And one of the questions you said, how have we been able to climb that ladder? And once again, God, man, I tell you, it's with obedience, because if the more times you get knocked down, the more times that I disobeyed my Father God Allah, those bumps upside my head, those scratches on the flesh, those things that were painful, they got me to where I needed to be. I don't want to go back to being hurt and unconscious. Being so susceptible to one's negativity, being so being able to let someone take me off my square, so to speak, and take me down to my lower self. I have too much strength in me right now for me to allow anyone to knock me back down. I feel so more powerful being in that higher self. And, the strength that I have within me, that being one, knowing that I'm one with the great God Allah, there's nothing anyone can do to me anymore. You know, I don't want nothing to do with the European way of governing. You know, that corporation. I don't want nothing to do with UC whatever, X, Y, Z. I don't want to have nothing to do with none of that. I have my own government. I have my own officials. I have my principles, and I have my laws and lessons. I have my Moorish kids. I have my family. I am staying in the higher self of consciousness. I am staying with my great God Allah, and I give honors to each and every one of you for being the strength that Allah has given Islam, because we are here to do a job, and we're here to make sure that those instructions that have been given to us are obeyed and put forth, so we can go out and give our family the lessons, the laws that we've got to let them climb that 12-step ladder. Let them find their own golden ladder to climb. But we got to be the message that we bring. Islam. So peace and love, family. We love you. And don't let Rome stop this truth. Nothing is going to stop it. Islam, carry on. Islam. We love you, family. We love you. Islam, family. Peace and love.
In Islam, peace and love, Brother Yehudi. Yeah, at every level is a great Adept. Praise be to Allah. Peace and love, Brother Yehudi. All right. Gratitude for that message. Islam, is there any other more who would like to come forth and exercise their fire?
Islam, National, Sister Grant.
Islam.
Hello, this is Sean Washington, Emerald Tut Raw Bayo from the Michigan Consulate. I rise and give all praise to the great God Allah. I give all honors to Sharif Adu Ali, the last prophet of all times. I give all honors to the theocratic government, the 12 departments, leaving the lights on and doors open. Give all honors to the theocratic government flag. I give all honors to Marcus Garvey. I give all honors to the Book of Fire, 101s, 102s, the Hadith, the Holy Quran. I give all honors to all my Moorish kin on this good grand class tonight. My Lord said my heart self. Well, this is the golden ladder in this government, and I cannot fall off the ladder again. I can't be in these organizations. I can't be part of a temple. I can't be part of groups and all that. Like the mosque was saying in South Carolina territories, like these Moors out here selling packages. That's your lower self. Packages and conflict court. He got all these form of governments, and I don't want none to be part of that, man. What's that? URS. All these governments that really the chairman was the founder of this government. He was the first founder of the Moorish national government, and them people and all these people came right behind him and copying. They stole the template from the government, and that's all that's falsehood. And I don't want to be caught up in that, And I'm out here telling the people the truth, I told like 3 people, I showed them the website on my phone, and they took a picture of it. I said, this is the government that you want to be in. Then somebody asked me, what temple you in? I said, I'm not in the temple no more. I'm in the more theocratic government. And they'd be like, well, what a temple I can go to? I said, no, if you don't want to go in the temple, you want to come into this government, and that's on them, and I can't fall off again. This the only true government, the first government since 2008. Ain't no other governments like this government right here. The balls of government. We got the Grand Seal. It's, the United Nations already know we a government. They didn't say nothing. And like I say, I don't have cares for this world no more. I don't want to be caught up out here no more. Following the crowds. Partying all day long. I see our people out here all day long partying, sitting on the porch drinking, and they ain't trying to come into this government, declare their nationality. And I keep it moving, and this is the only truth you can get. It's nowhere else. Nowhere else. No so-called black organizations ain't talking like this. What's that? Christianity. They're not talking like this. They talking about a pale skinned Jesus up in the sky, and all that's falsehood, like the Marshal said, the pastors keeping our people in bondage, all these ministers like T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollars, and I just listened to them for it didn't really hit me like that. I was trying to listen to the past, but it didn't fit me, It wasn't that designed for me. Christianity, it's not a way of to get our people free out of our condition we're in. Our people in right now, and all these other organizations, Pan African and Negro Association, Supreme 7, and they got that from the prophet. And a lot of these Moors ran and started their own stuff. But they're gonna have to come home into this government, the 12 ladder, the golden ladder. They're gonna have to, because there's nowhere to go for our people right now. And Babylon is falling. So we got time now to declare our nationality, in this said government. Powerful class, peace and love, Islam.
And gratitude, peace and love to you as well, brother. Gratitude for the measure. Islam. Is there any other more who would like to exercise their fire? The floor is still open. Islam.
Islam. That echo's still there. I'll stand down.
All right. Well, we're going to go to the officials, because this apparatus is getting ready to shut down here. I'm trying to get it to charge, and it's not acting right. But praise be to Allah. Okay, we give honors to all the Moors who came forth and exercised their fire. And at this time, we're going to call forth our official starting with our set of moon ale. Islam, you there, goddess and queen? But we know the sister is about her father's business. Let us call forth then our national Grand Mufti, Dr. Khonshu Mark Heru Bey. Islam, you there, Grand Man?
Islam. The line was muted. You might want to try to call assistant Grand Secretary again.
You say the line was muted?
It was muted just a second ago.
Okay. Well, is she there? Because it was over when I called her.
Okay. All right. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Yes, sir.
I Can you give me that subject title one more time? Well, please.
Yeah. Yes, Ayah 18. And Yehoshua saw a ladder made of gold on which he climbed. And at the top, the white-robed priest awaited him.
It's time, gratitude. We rise, giving all thanksgiving, adoration, worship, and praise to our Father God, Allah, the great God of the universe, the most beneficent and the most wise, and we give the highest honors that we can give to his prophet, our prophet, the last prophet in these days and in these times, prophet Noble Drew Ali, the savior of humanity. We give honor to his forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and we give honors to his government. Our government, the Moorish American government, the government in which we live, according to Act 6, we give honors to the officials of this said government, our divine ministers and our swift angels, our mufti, our royal council, our secretaries, our citizens. We give honors to our flag, our divine constitution and bylaws, our Holy Quran, our Grand National Seal, our Grand National Emblem, our Book of Fire, the Exhuman of a Nation. We give honors to everything that is Moorish. We give a special high honor to you, National, to the Grand Sheikh, for this grand Moorish perspective. We give honors to all of our Moorish kin who have spoken before us and to our Moorish kin that will speak after us. We give honors to you, angels. We just continue to give the honors where they're due, honoring all true and divine prophets. And we give honors to our ancestors as they have come before us leading the way. We are them today without a doubt or contradiction, because no one has the power to change man from his descent nature. Praise Allah for that. And, you know, when we look at the understanding that, you know, I need purity, purity means God, that God is the ruler of the land, and how one climbs the ladder to approach or to draw off that pure source, that divine or godly essence. You know, we can see the importance of this. As one stated, you know, all these tests, all these trials, tribulations going on within the mind of Yehoshua as he is going through the brotherhood test represents that or symbolizes the fact that as above, so below, that everything that's outside of oneself is inside of oneself. Everything that's in the universe is within the self, including the divinity of God. You know, this is why our prophet tells us and talks to us about learning ourselves and our Father God Allah, and why, you know, he gives us a key that tells us the closest place that we can meet Allah is in the heart. Because we have to, as a nation of people, individuals and collective, have to start recognizing that we are connected to the divine source. That the divine source is not something that we got to go outside of self for. Is that all according to our prayers, that the guidance, salvation, the protection, you know, is emanating from the center to the outer bound, and one's whole reality. But it's up to us to recognize it. It's up to us to climb the ladder, you know, to move ourselves towards Allah and towards the divinity in which secures us all. You know, because without moving towards Allah, without the process of putting in the work or taking the steps along the journey, you'll never get to the destination. You know, it's not something, you know, a lot of people, as we've found over the years, you know, they want an instant gratification. They want a microwave salvation. They want to be able to press the button, beep, 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 and then everything be done. But that ain't how it works. And that's not how Allah set it up. He set it up so that one can truly appreciate the journey. One can truly appreciate the triumphs. One can truly appreciate the salvation in which, and the grace in which Allah afforded one and gave to one. Because if we all know when you give people stuff, when things are for free, one they don't even bother with it, or they put it in the back like it has no worth because you gave it to them for free. But if they had to pay for it, then they'd be on it all day. Then it's, for some reason, it has some worth. If they didn't have to work for us, then they don't care about taking care of it. They don't care about sustaining it because it was free. It doesn't have the value, the personal value, no matter what the value is, whether the value is priceless or not. The personal value to the person is of nothing because they received it with no effort. And when it's like that, then it don't last. It don't sustain. And so we have to, as we teach our children the same thing, we got to think that our Father God Allah, as above so below, is teaching us the same thing, that, you can have the good life, you can have the divine life and blessedness and peace and happiness, but it comes, of course, with the work. Comes with the traveling, comes with the taking the initiative to walk up the steps. It takes the personal and inward fortitude to sustain through the trials and tribulations to reach that demonstration. And then, like I said, it has meaning, it has worth, and it's something that will stick with one to the end of their life. Not longer. With those things that was given for free, they come and go so swiftly, and they usually don't last. Because, like I said, one thinks they can easily just get it again. But that's not how it happens. And if we recognize divinity in that action, then we'll be better off. We'll be in a better place where we can move as the white robe priest in a purified state, a purified thought pattern, and also there to help one along the way, because that's what we're here to do. Help each other. That's why we're putting in the bonds of society. It's where we got the lesson of social duties, lessons of magistrate and subject, master and servant, because these things is necessary for us to know if we're going to continue to build as Allah has ordained it, as one people, as His children. Understanding, like we all tell our children, if we have multiple, that that's your brother, that's your sister, whatever. Y'all got to work together. Y'all got to love each other. All y'all got. And it's important that that family bond and tie be strong, and it be something that you hold on to. And that's the same thing our Father God Allah has sent our prophet to remind us that we are the children of one Father, provided for by His care, and the breast of one mother has given us up. So let the bonds of affection that unite us, and peace and happiness, these things are the key to our fulfilling the covenant, to our honoring contract or the covenant so that we may receive the blessings, that we may see the benefits from the beneficiary, or the benefactor, I should say, as the beneficiary. And that's something that, we got to all get into our mind and understand that it's not a fly-by-night demonstration, and that it's just not going to come in a microwave demonstration. Nothing that Allah has made comes like that. Everything grows in time and grows at a pace. And as it unfolds and grows, it gets greater and greater, grander and grander. The beauty that's within it is now is exposed to the reality as it continues to grow and unfold into what it's supposed to be. And so, the lesson that Yehoshua gives along this path is just that. Is that the trials, and the tribulations, temptations, and all these things that he conquered, continues to strengthen that which he was made to be, that which he was made to demonstrate to man and mankind. A love that all of us need. And that love became that body beautiful. And if we just stick to that thought pattern, stick to drawing off of reaching for the purity in life, reaching and moving towards those things that demonstrate purity, that demonstrate God, that demonstrate divinity, that our life will be better off. That no matter the creeping things, no matter the monsters of the nether world that we seem to draw up in our mind that come from our own thinking, but these things that have no power over us, over our lives, and that they will be exposed for just that. Things that, we thought were greater than ourselves, but we realized that nothing is greater than Allah. And then, understanding Allah, man, for one, then we come to the conclusion that these things that we thought was greater than ourselves are not. Because we demonstrate Allah, man, we demonstrate divinity and the purity on the throne. So, gratitude for bringing this class forth, National Sister Grand Sheik, and gratitude to you, Moorish America, for being here with us and giving us your time and attention, respect. We love you. Islam and peace.
And it's Islam and peace to you as well, brother. Allah is leading on, the victory is sure. All right. Let us call forth our Grand National Secretary of State, Sister Chpter Rakat Ma'at and Pooh, to the Common Bay. Islam, you there, Goddess and Queen?
Close to the thought, gratitude.
Gratitude.
This all Moorish can, first of all, and rise, giving all praises to our Father God Allah, giving honor to our Prophet, Noble Ali, the last prophet in these days and times, giving honor to our Moorish American government, all of our officials, staff, the angels, muftis, divine ministers, most especially our Moorish kin. Giving honor to all those Moors that spoke before me, all those Moors that will speak after me. Giving honor to our family online. I want to give a special honor to our National Assistant Grand Sheik of Moorish America, Dr. Shuttle Amenti Al-Muhaddid Chpter, for opening our meeting according to law and also hosting this Grand Moorish Perspective class this evening. We also want to give honor to our Consul General of Texas, Dr. Marvin Edwards Bay, for taking registration and reading our subject chapter for the week. Our subject matter coming from Ayat 18, and Yehoshua saw a ladder made of gold on which he climbed, and at the top the white-robed priest awaited him. Dr. Shahi, this has been a very, very powerful class. Also, as our Moorish kin has stated, love the various questions that you put forth. and broke down the aspect of gold, who the white robe priest is, which is that higher self, within ourselves, and also looking at it from the aspect of, let's see, when you were asking these questions, is the ladder stable enough? And when we foundate our ladder based upon the 5 highest principles known to man, which are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, that makes it stable enough where we are able to ascend. Let's see, have you been able to climb into high places? Yes. The point being, we have to learn how to become stabilized in our higher self and not fall by climbing or stumble and, fall off the ladder, what have you. What do we do with our ladder? Well, we use it to master these degrees when it comes down to being able to distinguish our higher self from our lower self and be able to stay in the consciousness that we and our Creator are one. And it was a powerful degree when you were speaking about how if everyone in our special nation focuses on building that temple of perfected man, and this is what it takes to sustain us as a pure and clean nation of people. And when I was looking at gold and what it symbolizes, and it's not strange because you're looking at a state of purity, you're looking at enlightenment, having that or recognizing that we are not just this body, that there is a connection between going from the manifest level to the spiritual aspect, and it is that high vibration of thought. And we also looked at it as a mode of healing, going from a state of mental slavery to a state of mental freedom. And I was looking at various ladders when we look at that salvation, dealing with the 3-step ladder of belief, faith, and fruition. And just seeing ourselves moving from the state of belief, that which man thinks perhaps is true, to the state of faith, that which man knows is true. And then what are you going to do on that special round? When we look at the dome of purity in life, which is built upon faith, hope, and love, and also looking at our 12-step ladder when it comes down to dealing with the various aspects of our character. And when you were speaking about Jacob and dealing with angels ascending and descending, I've seen experienced various levels in reference to ascending when it comes down to being able to still oneself, receive a revelation from the Creator. And again, when we're talking about descending, we have the option whether we allow ourselves to get taken off and allow our forgetfulness to set in, and now dealing with the aspect of our lower selves that we have got to recognize and come out of. We give praises to Allah and honor to our prophets for giving us tools, because when you're on a ladder, you got to have tools depending on what the project is. Our project is the building of the temple of perfected man. And sometimes in descending, you are able to hold on to that higher state and be able to give the revelation that you receive to those who you come in contact with, whether it be your brothers and sisters, whether it be other nations of the earth, etc. So there's movement on this special ladder. And the more that we can continue to ascend, that we can hold on to when the chairman speaks about it in his book, in reference to hold that thought. How long can we hold the thought of love divine? How long can we hold the thought of demonstrating truth in the manifest? How long can we hold the thought of demonstrating that peaceful degree, or demonstrating freedom, or demonstrating justice? So it's a blessing to be able to, first of all, realize that we have at our disposal everything that we need, and it's up to us to be able to figure out how we make these degrees applicable to the self. When we keep in mind that we have to move as gods in going through these various stations and phases and things of that nature, allowing one room for growth, but also being able to continue to stay focused on the mission at hand, that indeed is a grand blessing. And we also have to recognize forgiveness as the healing art, which means that we know that there are going to be mistakes along the way. We see that in the subject chapter for the week, where Yehoshua had that thought, where if you want to say he went to sleep or he blinked his eye, what have you, that thought came in reference to wild beasts and creeping things and things of that nature. But at least he asked the question of himself, just like we see in our Quran questionnaire. Where are you going, Satan? I'm going to and fro the earth, seeking whom I may devour. Wait a minute. Why did I allow myself to be bound down, to things on a carnal or a manifest, or get distracted, or allow my mind to be pacified over here? So the quicker that we are able to recognize the error of thinking within ourselves, the quicker we are able to, remain standing on that ladder. And sometimes you have to say, if I'm not able to ascend at this period, let me at least stand here. Let me try not to go backward or drop down, as Dr. Jehudi was speaking about in reference to dropping back down in that bestiality mode. See, this is why we have to constantly be thinking, because the minute we think, I got it, I am it, then we speak about that ego and that vanity. See, we're speaking about being able to maintain the state that is most natural to us, which is the God state. So when we recognize and fully embrace that degree, then we are fruition. So this is a powerful class. Much gratitude to you more, because the lesson of many lessons that I received from this class is that we have to constantly stay on guard when it comes down to what our mission of divinity is. And when we embrace that and recognize who we are, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. So gratitude more for calling me forth. Much peace and love to all of my Moorish kin. Islam.
In Islam and gratitude, Grand Master Secretary of the State, and as I heard you speaking, I thought about ladders I done went up. When I get 40 feet in the air, I don't be looking down. I just try to stay where I'm at and pretend that I'm 5 feet on the ground, so to speak. But we just say gratitude with a divine attitude, because you definitely going to have them situations. You look down, then you have some problem because you go to see in the distance that you might fall. But good, praise be to Allah. One thing about it, at least if you fall a little way, you can get back up. And at every level of the wrong, there's a greater devil. So at this time, let us call forth our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acton Pert M. Heru Tutankhamun Bay. Islam, you there, Grand Man?
You call me.
Man, you the only one I can call on right now.
Let me get paid so last time he laid it down. Let's just pop it over to Raleigh, the one that brought us everything that it take to save a nation. And this is a special chapter, I think, was dedicated, but then again, all the chapters dedicated him. That means I pick out one. No. But then with heroism, yeah, because the Prophet was able to take this and show us the way how to read magnanimous degrees just being a Muslim, because it's our duty to be a part and parcel of the great God Allah, so that we know, because we know where we came from, we know who made us. It's right there in our questionnaire. So we do this chapter on heroism, we become heroes when you become magnanimous in your journey. So somebody asks you, well, what is life? And I say, well, that's nothing but the breath of Allah, breathing in a rhythm of rapid thought. Well, good gracious, if that's what light is, then guess who made you? And you ain't nothing but the light. So that's what we're talking about. So the honor, the blessings, the powerful journey for Islam is without a schism. Thank you. Woo. Powerful.
And gratitude, Chairman, for that grand drawing. And thank you for bringing Islamism without the schism. Yes, sir. Want to give honors to our Grand National Chairman and also the Tribe of Endurance. And at this time, we're going to try to call on our National Grand Sheik. I know he was having some technical difficulties, as all of us, a little earlier. And are you there, Sheik? Dr. Serapis Amin Raya?
Brother Grand Sheik, if you're speaking more, we can't hear you.
Sheik, they hear me now.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, Grand Man.
You want to give me a way on that? But I can't.
Yes, sir, I got you, Grand Man.
Islam.
Islam.
I deal with you.
Yes, sir, we love you.
You three.
Islam. Well, all right. January 15, 1929. A warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work in their homes on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. When these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government of the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali, and if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, we bring forth this divine decree. Islam, Islam, Islamism. Chapter 25. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father provided for by his care, and the breasts of one mother have given you so. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother's in adversity, assist him. If thy sister's in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Go in peace, Muslims. Islam.
Great class, my sister Grand Sheik. Great class. I'm already going on either page. Great class. No, we
Peace and love, boys. Islam. Want to give honors to our family that showed up in YouTube as well. Nova Brian L. That's right. Tyrese Bay. Yehoshua, all y'all. Islam. See you in Sunday school. Islamism without the schism. Peace and love.
Goodbye.